Hi, friends. Welcome back to the next episode. All right, so this video is going to cover your applications course at your MBC 101, week 4. All right, let's get into it here. So what's on the week 4 agenda? Chapter readings, same as your MBC 10 theory course. That's going to be chapter 11 from your Cengage Understanding Health Insurance ebook. All right. Next up here, let's look and see what your discussion activities. You've got 2 discussion activities per usual, right? 3 posts, 3 separate days. Make that initial post by Wednesday. And then you've got 2 case studies. So now we're getting into billing. Yay! I love billing. Okay. So you're going to review CMS 1500 claim forms. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek here as to what that looks like. So this assignment, in this assignment, you're going to use the assigned case study. So let me just open this up for you. Show you a couple little small details here. The case study does not include a year, right? Notice it says 0110YYY. So please follow the instructional notes here that say use the year 2022 for the YYY date, okay? I know we're in 2025, but the answers embedded inside the quiz reflect 2022 as the year, so please use 2022. Don't use any decimals or dollar signs, right, in the charges section. So when you go to answer the questions, right, when it asks you what is the total charge, if the total charge is $2,000, you will type that out as 2000 space. Use a space as your where you would usually use a decimal, right? Just use a space and then put 00. And I'll show you, I'll give you a little hint as to what that's going to look like. Make sure you're not using slashes, dashes, parentheses. All of this is from your guidelines from your chapter 11 readings as far as guidelines to completing a claim form, okay? Make sure you're using all capital letters. So I know this sounds like we're screaming, right, in all caps, but to put this in to give you a better idea is that how does this information carry over, or where does this information come from, right? Where's this pulled from to create a claim form? Well, it's the data that you enter into the patient's electronic health record, right? So when you register a patient, when you add that patient's personal information, when you add that patient's insurance information, everything inside of a health record that we enter to create those demographics and create that insurance should be entered in all capitals. Any place where we are manually typing in information, make sure you're always using all caps. And that is why all caps should be on a claim form, because the information is pulled from the electronic health record and then populated into those individual fields on a claim form. Okay. ICD indicator is 0. You are going to have a question on your claim form assignments, okay? And it's going to say, what is the ICD indicator? The indicator is for ICD 10, right? We're indicating what version of ICD we are using. So to indicate version 10, we represent that with the number 0, okay? All right, so I have also created a case study, a claim form that mirrors your case study, okay? So if you click right here, it's thinking. All right, I have created a mock-up of that claim form, right? So on the quiz, it's going to ask you what goes in this specific field, right? So you can defer to the case study, or you can use this completed claim form. There's your ICD indicator of 0, diagnosis pointers. Now, I want to point something out, okay? Notice that there's a decimal here between the charges. I could not get that decimal to go away. I don't know why. I tried 1,000 times. I just stopped. Figured I would just tell you guys, don't put the decimal, okay? All right, so now let's do a little sneak peek. Sneak peek, sneak peek, okay. So you can see here, right? This is a little sneak peek of the quiz. And you guys have 2 attempts on this. Take advantage of both attempts, okay? So you can see here, question 1 says complete form locator A1 by using your assigned case study, right? So they want to know what the insured's ID number is. So again, you can access the claim form or the case study. So for example, if I wanted to look for the member's ID number on the claim form, right? 1A, that is your field. And so that patient's ID number is 272-034-109, right? So you're just looking at the field numbers here, like 1A, 5, 7, whatever they ask you, right? And you're entering that information. Complete form locator 2 through 5 using your case study, right? So patient's name. And again, everything in all capitals. And I'll also pay attention to the formatting, right? Patient's name. Everything should be last name, first name, middle initial, if the initial is applicable, right? So make sure you're following all of that formatting. Date of birth, right? There's already these divisions between month, day, and year. So when you go to write out the patient's date of birth, I'm just making one up right now, right? It needs to be in this format, or you can space it, right? Whatever looks cleaner to you, just don't use any additional characters, dashes, slashes, anything like that, okay? All right, and really just follow exactly the details that are supplied on that case study, right? If it says ST instead of spelling out street, just put ST. The goal is to be as precise, right, with our data, because we are communicating to an insurance company, right? So anything that we put in this claim form is telling a story to an insurance company so we get paid, whether that's identifying the patient by gender, date of birth, member ID, whether it's the diagnosis code. All of these things are relevant and need to be precise. That's our job, right? Attention to detail. All right. So I did the same thing for you for the second case study. I added a completed claim form, okay? So if you just click on this claim form, and you can download them as well, okay? All right. Let me make sure there's no, and again, there's decimals because I was not able to keep these charges. They kept disappearing when I didn't add the decimal. But real world application, guys, this would never happen to you. By the way, we are never physically filling out claim forms, okay? As I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, the data that you see listed in these individual fields comes from the data and the information that you, if you're working at the front office, are entering, and what the physicians are entering when they're completing those chart notes during the patient's encounter, okay? So all of this information is being pulled from different sources within the electronic health system, right? The practice management billing system. So the opportunity to even enter a decimal into a charge isn't even there, because the charges are already assigned to each individual code, right? They're just populated. Doctor selects what procedures they performed. That procedure already has an embedded value, okay? And that value will just cross over to the claim form. So again, I just want to reiterate, I was not able to remove the decimal. Decimals do not belong though, okay? So just enter it 60 space 00. Also, when you are asked what the total charge is, right? That is the culmination of all the individual charges listed line by line, okay? So again, 135 space 00 would be the appropriate format when you're putting this in your answer. All right, so again, I provide 2 attempts. Take advantage of that, right? This is your time to, again, it's all about attention to detail. It's not just giving you an advantage to getting things right. It's your opportunity to check your work and make corrections, right? Because that is part of our job and part of our roles as billers. All right, let's see here. I think that wraps it up for week 4. Let me just triple check myself here. Make sure you guys are taking this extra time to work on your rough draft, submit it back to your tutor, for further review, further refinement. As next week, that will be that assignment will be submitted for grading. Okay. All right. So that wraps up your week 4 activities. And I will see you in your week 5 episode. All right. Have a great day.